Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. This is Sue. As you can see from the title, this is about how much money I made as a part-time content creator in 2025. I feel like content creation has become such a hole where people are like dying to get in there because they think they're going to make a ton of money. And I gotta be honest with you, it's not realistic for everybody, but it is realistic for many. And so let me talk about my journey through it, how much money I made, and how I think I could help other people go through their journey as well. Let me start off by saying that 2025 was the first year that I was very, very insistent that I make money. So for the past 4 years that I've had my content, I have just been like, I want to do gifted content. I just want to see myself put out there. I just want to make content that feels right for me. I want to grow an audience. So I had no intention of making money between 2021 and 2024. By the time 25 rolls around, I've decided this is the year I'm going to make some decent money. Previously, I made very few dollars on any of the content that I made. I did get a lot of gifted product. I do want to say I've probably had more than like $20,000 worth of gifted product. And you can see all of the products that I've received on my TikTok. I show weekly hauls of the PR that I get, but I get a ton of free stuff and I've really, really loved it. However, 2025, the year I make money from content. And so last year I made it a mission to find out how I can make more money and what it would take to make money. So these are the steps that I took to make sure that I was using my content to make money. I became a mix of a UGC and a posted content creator. So UGC means user generated content. I think that this acronym first stems from content that was created organically on people's profiles. So for instance, I am a lover of Vita Coco. I was creating content about this naturally and I posted how much I loved it. And then Vita Coco realized I'm a fan of them and saw one of my videos and said, we want to buy this video from you. And that was originally how UGC content was created. Nowadays, people are just being reached out to from brands and saying like, hey, we want you to create content for us, but you don't have to post it. And that's what UGC content really means. It's a different avenue than being like an influencer because part of the appeal of an influencer is that they already have a following. So you're paying them, you as in the brand, paying them to post the content so their thousands or millions of followers can see it. However, for UGC, the brand is buying your video so they could post it on their own ads or on their own Instagram pages. So it's a little bit different. You don't have to have a massive following. You really just have to showcase your creativity, and that's what the brands want to see. So I did a mix of that. So a mix of posting on my own and creating UGC content for the brands. Let's start with number one. You will not get paid right away. You're gonna have to start off with some gifted content. Gifted meaning that you will be given products in exchange for your work, so you will not get paid. And this is by design. If you don't have a following or you don't have a portfolio, this makes sense. Why would a brand trust you and give you money if you're not showcasing any of your work? So build up your client list, build up your portfolio, and make sure that you're creating a lot of good content. And it requires all different kinds, so brands wanna see things like voiceovers, good lighting, product shots, all sorts of things. And they want to be able to trust you with their money. So they want to be able to see like, hey, in her portfolio, she showed all these kinds of contents. And that makes a lot of sense for our brand. So let's pay her some money and then maybe she'll make some content for us. In the beginning, you just won't get paid. And that makes sense. So you get to step two, building a portfolio. Now, there are a lot of portfolio templates out there. I just picked one off of Canva and I customized it to myself. You're going to put links to the content that you're proud of. You're going to put rates for how much you want to be charged. You're going to showcase why they should pick you. There are actually thousands and thousands of creators now. So why should a brand trust you with their vision? You're going to show it to them. Depending on the kinds of content that you do make, like if you have a specific niche, then this might be best suited for a portfolio. So for instance, I like makeup and skincare. So I do a lot of application shots. I do a lot of product shots. However, if I was more into the food space, I might show some cooking videos or grocery shopping videos. If I was more in the travel space, I would show things like me going to airports or me going to hotels or me discovering cities. It depends on your niche. I don't necessarily think you need to have a very specific niche, but if you want to be general, then you have to put more things in your portfolio so that you showcase to the brands that you're worth it. The next step, which is number three, using apps. and finding clients. Finding clients to work with you can be tough. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of this is the least favorite parts of corporate life that I don't enjoy. So a lot of it is cold emailing, reaching out, finding avenues and platforms that will help you get in with these brands. There are a ton of sites now that are connecting content creators to brands. And the great thing about this is that you don't have to figure out if a brand wants to have content creators. If they're on the site, you already know that they want content creators. Now, there are a lot of good ones and a lot of bad ones. I've tried maybe 30-ish apps and platforms, and there's a couple that I really love that I go to, and I have talked a lot about them in depth in my TikTok if you want to go check that out. I won't mention them here, but there are a lot of apps that are really good and help you connect with brands so easily, and a lot of them get you opportunities to work with brands that you could only have dreamed of. I know for sure for me, I've worked with some of the most amazing brands through these platforms. I've done some of their work for free, so I've done gifted work, and then I've worked my way up to getting paid partnerships. I'm gonna be honest with you, when it comes to these platforms, you are going to be underpaid. When you reach out to brands directly through an email contact, you can negotiate much more than when you're going through these platforms. This is on purpose. I mean, brands are already paying these platforms to be on there. They're gonna have a smaller budget for content creators. I would recommend, once you have a good basis, go emailing contacts directly. This is really hard. Cold emailing is just really hard. You just have to source their email or DM these brands directly and tell them you want to work with them. Here's my portfolio, here's my rate, here are the reasons why you should work with me, and you just gotta get your foot in the door. It's been difficult to find emails, I'm not gonna lie, but there are even apps out there now who can source those emails for you. So I highly recommend sourcing those contacts directly and working with them through your own email. Number 4, charging the right amount. This is so frustrating because I've been underpaid. I've been underpaid a lot, and I would be happy to go into detail about that in another video, but yes, I have done work for free, even though it's been lots and lots of hours. I have done work that I, at the end, was like, was that worth it? Was that worth it for the small amount that I was paid? But I mean, that's kind of the case for any job. You could be underpaid. I think particularly now, because there's so many content creators, people are willing to charge less and less. They're willing to misuse that trust that they have with content creators. Knowing your worth is difficult. So connect with other UGC creators, go on Reddit, figure out how much other people are charging, and really charge your worth and stand your ground. I've done lots of negotiations where I've said, you know what, this is my price. And they say, well, this is our budget. And I say, really? I know you're a multi-million-dollar brand. I think you can meet me somewhere in the middle. I'm not going all the way down there. Even if I love your brand, I'm sorry, I can't do it for that little. My hours and hours of work are just not worth it. Otherwise, if you want me to do it at that budget, you're gonna have to see lesser quality. Like, I'm just not gonna be able to give you the top quality that I am up here at this budget. Number 5, the last step is evolving. As you continue to create great content, update your portfolio, change your styles, work through new editing, and keep up with trends. It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you are going to have to be on social media for kind of a long time, you know, going through and seeing what other people are doing, looking at brands and seeing what kind of content they're working towards, keeping up with your contacts to make sure that you can have a longer relationship with them. I don't think anybody told me before I started UGC how much of my time would be emailing back and forth. Really, creating content is just like this much, editing is like this much, and then like this much is contracts, back and forth, invoicing, chasing people down to get paid. And so I gotta tell you, like, there's a lot of admin work involved in content creation that like nobody talks about, but it is a lot and it's something that you need to prepare for. Okay, with those 5 steps, which I'm not gonna lie, I could have gone deeper into all of those and I'm happy to do that in a different video, but really here, I'm just gonna tell you how much money I was able to make in 2025. So let's go through all of this. I wanna say that this is how much I was paid in that month, not necessarily how much work I did in that month. And this is a whole other thing, but you will likely not get paid in the exact month that you did the work because brands pay out their invoices in net 15, net 30, net 90 even, meaning that 90 days after you send the invoice, they will pay you, which is insane. But in January, I made $0, even though I did some content work, $0. In February, I got $40. In March, I got $546. In April, I got $309. In May, I got $438. June, $398. July, $398. $693, August $779, September $41, October $2,026, November $592, and December $1,080. So the total for 2025 was $6,646, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I actually have a bunch of invoices that are unpaid. So I have a bunch from November and December that I just have not been paid yet, especially because November and December there's a lot of like holidays, so people have not paid up those invoices and it's still early January. I'm quite proud of myself considering this is my first year of fully committing to making money on content. This is pretty good. By no means is it enough to live off of this salary. I do have a full-time job and that's why content creation is just my side hustle, but that's pretty good pocket money, I would say. About 80% of this was actually through apps and platforms that connected me to brands, and I created content, posted it on the platform, and then was paid through the platform. And then about 20% was direct contact. Either brand messaged me or I messaged the brand in an email, went back and forth. So it has been a mix of both of those things to get these clients. It's been a really great year and I'm hoping to continue to evolve my platform. It's been so fun to create content. I've learned so much about myself and the kind of content that I want to put out there. I've learned so much about being my own boss. Because I've worked in corporate America for so long, I forgot that I can set my own rates. I can negotiate my own contract rules. It's been really exciting to see that different part of me, and I hope to evolve even more in the next year. If you have any questions about being a content creator, making some money, being in UGC, comment them down below, or you can message me. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!